can't beat a midday coffee. I mean, it's just, you have your coffee in the morning, and then you have your coffee in the afternoon, and sometimes by the end of the day, I've had about 4 coffees, which can be a lot. So listen, I want to talk about apprenticeships and how can you be a young guy and you're interested in something, or there's a career that you're fascinated in, and you just don't have a way in. Now, I'm familiar with barbering. That was the trade I grew up with, and I was an apprentice. I was an apprentice for 2 years, and I remember, my apprenticeship was from my uncle. Okay, and when you're an apprentice, you got to remember, this is the wrong philosophy, but when you're an apprentice, you are not providing anything to the company. So when I was a barber, when I was learning to be a barber, what am I doing? What am I really doing? I am watching haircuts, watching shaves, folding towels, maybe sweeping, maybe taking some jackets, maybe getting coffees for people, but I'm not bringing any income into the business. What's my value? So it was my uncle's barbershop. My uncle's barbershop. I was in my late teens. And my uncle says to me, I'm not going to pay you to be an apprentice. I'm not going to pay you to teach you to cut hair and to be a barber. Why would I do that? Now, me being a young boy, and I'm telling my mother, I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting paid to do this. So I got to work on top of my apprenticeship to make any money, right? My mom's, but you're there, and you're there 5 days a week or whatever it was, and you're helping out, and shouldn't you get paid for something? No. My uncle's philosophy, and he's not wrong, was, you want to learn, you should pay me. I'm teaching you a skill. I'm teaching you a trade. You should pay me. I'm not paying you. I get it. I totally get it. And maybe I didn't get it at the time. I learned very quickly. Now, I remember when I was working at another barbershop years later, and a young, listen, people want to show you their trade. I think if they're a good person, they want to pass it down to the next generation. I did. I wanted to learn. I wanted to teach people how to do what I know how to do. So I learned at a high-end barbershop where we dressed properly, we took care of our clients. Attention to detail was so important, so important. And I remember, so I brought those traits with me along my career as a barber, okay? So I'm working in a neighborhood barbershop, and a young guy comes to the barbershop one day, and he says, I want to learn to be a barber. And I looked him up and down. I said, you want to be a barber? Okay. I said, you can come back next Saturday, but you got to find some dress shoes, dress pants, and a dress shirt, because he looked like he just came from the street. So we open at 8 a.m. next Saturday. If you're here, you're here. Okay. So this kid shows up with goofy, shoes way too big for him. His dad's dress shirt from the 80s. And a sloppy tucked in to his pants. But he was there before we got there. He was there before 8 a.m. And I said, okay, this kid wants to learn how to cut hair. So, I told him, I'm like, you got to get some shoes that fit you. You got to get a better dress shirt. And little by little, he started to, dress better. And when he would make a little bit of money, he would buy the proper clothes that he needed and to kind of fit in with us. And him showing that determination. Now, he wasn't getting paid. He was doing what I did. You hang around the shop, you watch, you learn, go get us coffees. That's part of being an apprentice. And if you can't do that, I mean, no one's gonna. If you go in there thinking that you should be getting paid, that you shouldn't be getting coffees for people, that you shouldn't be getting any shit from people, I mean, you're never gonna. You gotta humble yourself. You gotta humble yourself. So this kid came and came and came, and then he would ask, hey, can I, if I bring a model in and I cut their hair, can you guys like watch over it? And we would happily do that because he's taking it seriously. And now to this day, this was over 10 years ago. To this day, he's a successful barber. I'm still friends with him on social media. He's winning all these awards. He's doing all these things, and we were a little hard on him in the beginning, out of love. So if you're interested in a career like an electrician, or like a plumber, or a carpenter, or a barber, okay, or a chef, you need to be willing to do the free work. You need to go to an electrician and say, if your friends of a friend is an electrician, that's how, because you're not going to look someone up on the internet and say, hey, can I come apprentice with you? I mean, you can, but it's always better to have that little connection, right? So it's like, listen, my friend's dad is an electrician, okay? Or my dad's friend is an electrician. Dad, can I reach out to him? Just chat with him? I'm going to buy him a coffee. I was doing this before anyone told me to do this when I was in high school. Okay, I was meeting up with professional people that I wanted to get to chat with. Now, what you do is, if it's an electrician, it's like, listen, I go to school Monday to Friday, but on my free time, and if you're doing like some jobs, I'd like to just help out. I'll just like clean up your area. Just show me what you're doing a little bit. I just want to feel if this is for me, right? Now, these are ways to just kind of get in the door. You open up the door to see, do I like this? Is this something I want to do? Okay. Now, what's the schooling like? And you go next steps. But you need to get in with these people and these careers. You need to immerse yourself in them. You need to be watching videos. You need to be asking questions. You need to be working on little side projects. I was doing the crappiest haircuts for $5 to my friends, or free. But I remember I was charging $5 to like friends of friends, right? And to this day, I remember my first actual haircut in the barbershop was my cousin. He sat in the chair for like over an hour getting a haircut because I was just fiddling around. I didn't know what to do. The point of the story is, if there's something you're interested in, you need to reach out to this person, and you need to humble yourself, and you need to do it, be willing to do it for free. So whether that means that you go to work at a grocery store at nighttime from 5 to 10 p.m. at night, and go free work in the day at a local spot that you want to learn, that's what you got to do. That's how you do this stuff. And if you're a young guy, you have the energy. You can do this. What else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? Play video games? Hang out with your buddies? This is productive. This is how you get ahead. These are the little things that separate yourself. When I started, I had to work at my uncle's barbershop on Saturdays to make some money. So that's when I would actually cash out the clients, open up the shop, close the shop. And the hours were 8 to 3 or more. It was 8 to 4 on Saturdays. And I was young. So all my friends are doing stuff on a Friday night. I got to wake up at I got to be leaving my house at 7:20 every Saturday morning. And then I got to be there Monday to Friday trying to learn. And then I got to work over in between, trying to just get some money. This is what you do. I don't regret any of that now. So, if there's something you're interested in, dive into it. Don't be scared. That's it.